All right, Harry. In Matthew chapter 12, verse 40, Jesus says, "For just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the sea monster, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." So my question is, what day did Jesus therefore get crucified if that 3 days was the only sign we'd receive?
Right. And that has puzzled me for many, many years of my life. And always puzzled. It says, well, 3 days and 3 nights. We can explain the 3 days, kind of, but 3 nights. How do you work that? So, um, so we got to go back to all the information to put that together. You can only find it in the Gospel of John. The other three Gospels, it's a little bit vague as to what day Jesus was crucified and when did he celebrate the Passover himself and so on. So we got to go back to John 20, verse 1. It says, the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary went to the tomb.
Mm-hmm.
The stone was removed, and Jesus had risen. Therefore, Sunday is not one of the days, not one of the 3 days,
Right.
because it was before dawn that the stone that
The stone was
the tomb
released.
was open. Yes.
Do you think that
So
would count as a night, though, for sure, right?
yeah, for sure, absolutely, because it was prior to dawn, just nicely. So a full night, but it was prior to daylight.
Sweet.
So fact number one is the day before Sunday, which is of course Jesus rose on Sunday morning. That was Saturday, and in the Jewish faith, we know that that's a Sabbath. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're clear on that. Okay, so there was a Sabbath. So Saturday was the official Saturday Sabbath. Okay, then we read in verse John 12, 18, 28. It says the Jewish leaders brought Pilate to Jesus, but they could not go into the palace because they had not yet celebrated the Passover, and they did not want to become defiled because they wanted to eat it the next day. Because if they went into Pilate's palace, that would be an impure place,
Right.
and they couldn't celebrate. But we know that the night before, Jesus celebrated the Passover with his disciples
So he celebrated it a day early.
a day early. That's clear on that verse, John 18:28. Then we read in John 19:31, that was the crucifixion day. That verse is at 3 p.m. because what happens is it is first of all, it's written in all the day. It's called the day of preparation in all four gospels, and it says that the next day was going to be a special Sabbath, and
Mm-hmm.
they also, we know that it's Passover, and so it's a holy day. It's Passover. It's a special Sabbath, and they wanted to break the legs on the three people on the cross because they wanted them off the cross, wanted them to die so they'd be off the cross. But Jesus had already died, so they put the spear in his side. But we know that that day was a special Sabbath, the Passover. So we also know that the day after the Passover is also a special Sabbath, and it's called the feast. It's the first day of unleavened bread. There's a 7 day time of unleavened bread after the Passover. Day 1 and day 7 are Sabbath days also. So we know that the day after the crucifixion was Passover Sabbath. The next day was the unleavened bread Sabbath. But we also know there's a Saturday Sabbath in there. So there were 3 Sabbaths between the crucifixion and the resurrection. Likely 2 of them, the unleavened bread Sabbath and the Saturday Sabbath, were on the same day. It's like Christmas being on Sunday. It's 2 holidays on top of each other. So that way they can only make one holy
Mm-hmm.
day, as you might say.
You're not going to celebrate it twice.
No, you can't. But basically, they both land
On
together.
the
So
same day.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. So that would mean there were only 2 Sabbath days. There was the Passover one, day 1, and the day after that was both Saturday Sabbath and the unleavened bread Sabbath. So therefore, Jesus was crucified on Thursday to have. So basically, that would, if he was crucified on Thursday, that would mean the next 2 days were both Sabbaths. So they couldn't go back to the tomb to look after the body of Jesus for those 2 days. That would give us 3 nights: Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. It would give us 2 full days, Saturday and Sunday, plus part of Thursday, the day of crucifixion, because Jesus was in the tomb before nightfall. So
So
there
that
is,
gives us the 3 days and 3 nights, and therefore the prophecy that Jesus said that the only sign we'd get is like Jonah being in the belly of the whale.
right. So there is no other choice. It leaves no other answer standing. So Good Friday actually happened on Thursday.
Oh, awesome. That's good. That's good to clear it up, especially around this time of year when we're getting into the Easter festivities and we can remember and meditate on what happened that day and understand, oh, it was a Thursday. So it was almost like it happened here instead of the Friday.
Yeah, how it came Friday, I have no idea. But but reading the Gospel of John, it's really, if you look at it carefully, all the facts are there. And I think John wrote that carefully because I think when he read the other Gospels, he said that's not clear, and he wanted to clear that up to make really, really sure that we would understand that those details clear it all up. And I actually didn't understand that for many, many years, but I'm grateful for what we can read there, and the facts are there.
Praise God. All right. Thanks, Harry.